some people think that they can, they call it packaging. It's not bad to package your CV, but it's also not good to lie on your CV, right? Because sometimes when you're done, you've landed the job, and somebody does come to you and say, sorry, we can't work with you. We did a background check, and we noticed one or two things here, and we'll not be able to keep you on our team. So you must make sure that you're telling the absolute truth on your, it's very hard, right, sometimes, but you just have to say the absolute truth on your resume, right? So if you worked for A and B company at what year to what year, make sure that you indicate. Because sometimes things can come up and they just make reference to, oh, GRA used to work in, let me not call brand name, let me use Carabody as an instance. I say, okay. And the funny thing is that the startup space, me, I work for startups, right? It's very, very slim. The ecosystem is, everybody knows everybody. So you can just be chatting with somebody and say, oh, do you know this person? She just joined us recently. I was like, no, I don't think. Your boss can be talking with another boss and in a meeting and say, no, I don't think I have anybody like that worked with us. And before you know, one thing leads to another, and they find out, oh, this person lied. So you want to make sure that you are writing the absolute truth on your resume, because it's a reference document that they will always go back to check if this thing that this particular person said is true or not. Also, it's a screening tool for potential employers, right? So, of course, when you send it in, your recruiter or your hiring manager or whoever is looking at it will take a look at it before calling you in for an interview. So the first thing would be your personal information, right? That includes like your name, your contact details, your location. I think I have like a sample slide here. So don't think that this name is real, it's a pseudonym. So in case you're planning on going to supply chain, maybe you want to call this person, so it's a pseudonym. So you want to include your full name, right? Your location, some people don't see it relevant, but for me, I would advise you don't need to put your home address. Nobody wants to locate your house, so to say. Just need your state and country. Sometimes, especially when you're applying to jobs outside Nigeria. Imagine sending you your CV and I feel like you're the good candidate. How do I get across to you? I start searching you everywhere and everywhere just to find you. So you want to make sure that you have your phone number and your email address there. Sometimes people put up phone numbers that you can't even reach them on. So you start digging. So if you have like 2 phone numbers, it would be nice to put it up there. And another thing that people usually do is they put the contact number of maybe their mom or their partner or something. And then when you call, maybe the first number is usually their first number. It doesn't go through. Then you try contacting the next number. Somebody random just picks up and like, oh, I'm trying to get across to, let's use this guy's name, for instance, Usman. So if you want to, I don't advise you to put anybody's phone number. Just put your personal phone number to be very professional, right? But if you want to do that, please notify the person. And make sure that the person is not, sorry, let me use maybe a market woman, that's where you call, the person is so rowdy and the person will be like the first contact that your hiring recruiter or your hiring manager will get in contact with. So you want to put a professional person that the person can just quickly point the hiring manager and say, oh, sorry, maybe his phone number is off or something, I'll get across to him or something. Do you get? So the next thing, of course, would be your LinkedIn. I'm personally a big fan of LinkedIn, right? Because there's so many opportunities that come from there. So as much as you want to put your LinkedIn link on your CV, you want to make sure there's like a sync of information of what you are representing on your CV and what you have on your LinkedIn. So sometimes people put their LinkedIn and then you click on it, you're thinking, okay, let me see what this person has done, right, on LinkedIn. You see another entire profile of this person, you're like, are they 2 people, right? So you want to make sure that there's synonym on what's written on your LinkedIn and what's written on your CV. Also, tech guides, you guys have linked to your portfolio. You can also include that there so that people can see like links to works. Maybe you're a graphic designer, you're a front-end developer or whatever. You can put your link there so that you can take the potential employer to your dashboard or something that indicates like works that you have done before. Then the next thing would be your objective statement. So I think I'll take this, this one alongside your professional summary. They are like almost the same thing, but they are not the same thing. So most times we just go, there are different AIs these days that gives you very nice formats. So we just go there, you just find one nice looking format, and then you just take out the already written words there, you just edit some things, put the stuff that represents you. So that the objective statement should be used by interns, people that don't necessarily have a lot of things to talk about. So it's what an objective statement is a summary of the skills that you possess and the values that you can bring to an organization. Individual, strong quality control, blah, blah, blah. Prioritize and manage simultaneous tasks. So you see the end here, it says presently pursuing internship opportunities with a forward-thinking organization. That's the objective of this particular candidate, right? But with professional summary, it's more lengthy, not very long, but it's a little bit lengthy. And essentially, this is used by people that have like long years of experience. Maybe not necessarily long, but they've gathered some years of experience. They've done some things. So you kind of tell a brief summary about the skills that you possess as a result of all the years that you've worked, right? And the value that you'll be bringing to that organization. So this is a sample of a professional summary. I think I should just pay attention to the last sentence, which is offering 11 years of sales and 9 years of management experience. You see that it's like a summary of everything you have on your CV. So before the person, on your resume, before the person starts looking at the entire information on your resume, the person already knows that, oh, this person is coming with 11 years of experience, and the person has managed a team for the past 9 years, right? And these are the skills that the person has been able to gather as a result of working and the other things. So those are like that's the difference between the professional summary and an objective statement. So you don't just want to, because you see somebody, an AI that gives you a format, you just carry it, go, you just copy it, go, you don't even know why this person is writing as, indicated as an objective statement on their CV and professional summary on their CV. The certificate you graduated with and the year that you graduated from school. So sometimes I think I've seen cases where people don't necessarily pay attention to the way that they outline their education. So for instance, you see that this person, you see the flow, right? From PGD down to ND. Sometimes people just write it haphazardly. They just put ND here, they put PGD in between. So you need to pay attention to those little things, right? Sometimes as a recruiter, when I see someone's CV and I see the way it's written, I just know that this person will be a good candidate because the person doesn't pay attention to details at all, and I just say, please, let me move on to the next thing. So you want to pay attention to these things that you think they are not that important, but they're important to the person that is going to hire you. Also, I see that some people put like their WAEC, or I went to Maryland primary school, right? All those stuff, they are not required. So I think the essential thing is from your higher education, your college certificate. So you put your BSc, if you have ND, that's fine. You can put it up there. And there are times that, okay, I think I'll get there, let me not. So that's that for education. So the next will be your work experience. This is a very important part of your resume, right? For here, you just have to outline the various roles that you've worked in, the companies that you've worked for. If you want to indicate the country or the state where these companies are in, then of course the years, and you don't want to lie, trust me. So if you worked from so here to so here, make sure you indicate that that's what you did. And then another thing would be, some people say, oh, outline your responsibility, but that's not the right way to write your CV. So when your resume, sorry, I keep using CV and resume interchangeably, but they are not the same thing. So when you're writing your resume, make sure that you don't outline the responsibility. So I'm going to use, for instance, a recruiter's role, right? So you worked as a recruiter in so-so company. You don't want to say, oh, under the list of things that you did here, you start saying, so you can see things like job, sorry, I'm just lost at the moment. But we'll just pay attention to the hard skills that are particular to your role. Don't just pick random skills that you think, those soft skills, don't write soft skills. Let me put that way. Don't put soft skills like leadership skills. They are good, but you don't necessarily need to put them out there, because when you put your hard skills here, when you send in your resume into an ATS, when you apply, the ATS picks the hard skills that are particular to that role, because the recruiter back end would have set it that way. So when you send in your resume, the ATS rather picks, so if there are like 10 hard skills that are important for that role, right? The ATS would pick maybe 5, extract 5, so it's 5 out of your resume, right? And then shortlist you to next stage. I don't know if that makes sense, but try and highlight your hard skills. But if you just put things like detail-oriented, stuff like that, you're not putting your best foot forward. And by the time the ATS screens your CV, your resume, the ATS will not shortlist you for next stage. And unfortunately, not that you're not a good candidate, but because the recruiter has 1 million CVs to look at, the recruiter will not come back to those people that the ATS has rejected. The recruiter will go forward with the people that were shortlisted by the ATS and interview. So you should have that at the back of your mind. Then, for additional information, this may not necessarily be important, but it might be important to you. It might not be important to the person that's the hiring manager. So things like certifications that you have gathered, right? You want to outline them, the body that gave you that certification, and then the year. Sometimes you have volunteer, you did, some of us, we do like NGO stuff, right? You want to outline those kind of things as much as it is important or relevant to what you're applying for. So you want to put that out there. I think something I also missed when talking about work experience would be outlining. For me, I prefer that you outline your most recent work experience and then take it down. So sometimes I see people that outline their work experience, they start from NYSC or maybe something they even did before NYSC as internship. That's not bad, maybe because I deal with very senior candidates, right? So you want to start with your most recent, because that's like the most relevant, before, and then take it down to your NYSC. So you arrange it in that chronological manner. Because once I see your NYSC, and then I see the next thing, maybe it's not even relevant to the job you're applying for, I just get, I'm not interested again, because I'm like, please, what's this person talking about? Before it takes me, sometimes people have been working since 2002, 2008. So imagine having to look at a 4-page resume, and then you're person telling you about NYC, where you were a teacher in one school, and then the next thing, maybe you did one teaching job again, and then those things are not really relevant. I think I would prefer to see your most recent experience before, and then you kind of even tone down those ones that some of us, or most of us, everybody, we grow out of certain roles, right? So when sometimes you started as a teacher in NYC because of Nigeria, and then with time, then you became a front-end engineer, you became a engineering lead, or whatever. So you try as much as start taking out those maybe NYC stuff. You can outline them just one line. You don't start saying, oh, I taught in so school, and then you start outlining the kind of things that you did in your school. You can tone them down. I missed that out. I wanted to add it. So you want to make sure that you're writing your resume with clear headings. So some people they write resume with almost the same format. So the way you outline, let me use this as an instance. You see this sample, right? You see the way I outline certification. The font is bigger, than the other one, right? Some people, they don't pay attention to those things. They just write it, and maybe at the end of the day, they highlight everything, use one format, use one font. So you want to make sure that you're kind of highlighting that, oh, this is the subtopic I'm referencing, right? So that the recruiter can understand. So organize your information in a logical and chronological order. I think I've also explained this. In line with like work experience, you want to make sure that you're outlining your CV in a way that you don't lose the attention of whoever is looking at your CV, right? You want to get the person involved in, as much as the person looks at your CV, the person should not take their eyes off your CV until they are done looking at your resume. I keep saying CV, please. Then you want to maintain consistency, of course. I think I just said a bit about that with your font and style. Sometimes people, I don't know, I think in the course of editing your CV, maybe you just finished one job and you want to move on to another job, then you just pick up your old resume and then you want to add just your most recent job experience, right? You forget that, oh, maybe you use Time New Roman, you just go and copy and paste from somewhere, and then you put it, and then you PDF it, that's it. So you have to pay attention to these things. You want to make sure that you're using the same font for everything that's written on your CV, and also space very well. Then for keywords, I think I said a bit about this on your skills. You want to do your research on keywords that are particular to your job and incorporate them under skills so that when the ATS is reading your CV, you'll be one of the candidates that will be selected. I said a bit about you focusing on your accomplishments and achievements, on your experience, right? So you want to emphasize on like the metrics, the results that you achieved on your various roles, and then put it up there rather than the responsibilities. You want to avoid lengthy paragraphs and include relevant information. It's not everything that must be in your CV. So sometimes some people feel that I've seen CVs where maybe the person started out in admin and moved into accounting. Then the person moved from accounting into data. And then from data, the person has gone into business intelligence. I'm a bit confused. Sometimes when I see the CV, maybe for physical events, I usually ask the candidate that, what exactly do you want to do? Because I see a lot of things on your CV, right? So the person starts saying, so that's why I came to you, so that you advise me. So I think you don't need to put out those things that they are not relevant to what you're applying for. So if you are no more interested in admin, maybe you did admin years back, you don't need to put it up on your CV, right? Or maybe some of us, we have 2 or 3 CVs, we use it to apply for different jobs. Try and separate, let there be some uniformity on your CV or your resume. So ensure the additional sections are relevant to the job. I think I said a bit about that, where you're not putting up things that are not important. Of course, you prioritize your recent experience, certification, as I said a bit, and then brevity and relevance. You want to keep it straight to the point and communicating the right things. So it's not how long your CV is, it's actually how well it's written. So I think that's that for resume. So your final tips, I would say you should proofread. Make sure you read your CV, your resume again. Make sure that there's no spelling error. There are times that people even miss numbers on their phone, on their contact. So you want to call them. You notice that the number they wrote out there is like 12. So you notice 12 numbers, then you begin to crack your head, right? Should I take out the last number? Should I take out the first number? Then sometimes I'll have to start reaching out to the person on LinkedIn or sending emails or stuff like that. So you just want to make things easy for the person because the person has other options, right? So when the person maybe try 1 or 2 things and can't get across to you, so please let me go on to the next candidate. So you want to use clean professional resume and format. So I think something that people don't know is this AI out there, they give you very nice designs of CVs or resume formats. Some of them, they look very, their UI, their user interface is very nice. But the thing is, when your ATS reads that resume, it reads it as a picture. So you should ensure that you use simple format. The normal one, you use your MS, or these days you use G Suite. Okay. So let me just go straight to cover letter, and I'm going to rush through this because for me, if I'm being honest, right, cover letter, they are not useful again. But I will just tell you because I have to tell you. So as much as for recruiters, they don't read your, I can't remember the last time I read someone's cover letter. Let me not lie. So maybe because I work for a consultancy company, and I have been working for consultancy, we have tons of roles to fill. I don't have time. I even have a lot of CVs to review. Then now look at your cover letter though. So not everybody, maybe some people do, so I will not generalize it, but most people don't have time to proofread like your cover letter. So, but that doesn't mean that internal organizations, they might not be looking at it, because I've not worked for, like, internally in a proper, like, maybe, or, like, for a company, right? I just work for a consultancy company that assists other people. So maybe they look at it, maybe not, I don't know. So, you want to make sure that for your cover letter, right, it's actually brief. Just tell a summary about your skills, your experience, a tiny bit of achievements that you've had that you think is particular to the particular job that you are applying for, right? And usually, I would rather advise you to do 3 to 5 paragraphs. And I don't know if the community will give you access to this slide, because I'm going to just breeze through these things. You can take your time to look at it. So your first paragraph is usually like where you address the letter, right? You don't want to say something like, to whom it may concern. You want to do your research. Who posted the job, first of all? I think LinkedIn gives you the opportunity to see who posted the job. So if I see that the letter is addressed to me, that gives me assurance that, oh, this person even did some research to know that I'm the one that posted the job, right? But sometimes, the funny thing is that the person that posted the job might not be the person that will review, right? So those are the things. Sometimes you can address it to the head of the department. You do your research and check who is the head of the people team. You address it. Or you just go general and just say, hey, hiring manager. That will suffice. And yeah, the opening paragraph where you just, it's very short and brief. Why am I writing this, sending you this letter, right? Oh, no need to start saying my name is this. I'm right. They already know your name is this because your emails are even indicating or showing it. Just need to go straight to the point and say, oh, this is what I'm writing. I want to apply for this. This is a sample, right? I find enclosed my resume for your consideration. Then straight up, second paragraph, you just outline a bit about professional experience. You summarize it that you've had, your academic qualification, if that is relevant, and then you kind of summarize it. So this is a sample. As seen on my CV, I have like over 3 years experience, living knowledge, blah, blah, blah. And then the third thing is, what exactly can you do for the company, right? Not what the company can do for you. I think I've seen some samples where people say things like, I'm writing to your company because I've seen the good work people are doing. You're supposed to be writing as per, why should we hire you? That's what you should be communicating on your third paragraph, right? So you tell them, oh, if you see the sample, my current role as a senior, blah, 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 at company X, I'll be responsible for this. And you see where I outline like the achievements a bit. I kind of told a story about the impact that I've had on that role. For a B2B product, I've achieved 156%, blah, 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 and I hope it will be useful. So first paragraph is kind of reiterating what you wrote on paragraph 2 and paragraph 3. You kind of merge everything together, but in a different tone, in a different language, and put it up there. Then the last thing would be like your closing remark, right? Closing letter, yours sincerely or yours faithfully, depending on if you know the name of the person or not. So I think that's it. I think something I always tell people is that your CV or your resume is your marketing tool, because it's there for you. It speaks for you even before the person gets to meet you. So you want to put your best foot forward. And as people say, it's like you're kind of representing the resume kind of interprets the brand that you are a brand, right? I see myself as a brand, kind of represents the brand even before the person gets to speak with you virtually or physically. So you want to make sure you're putting your best foot forward. So I think that's it, thank you. If you don't have time to do it yourself, I always advise anybody, give it out to somebody else to do it. It mustn't be career body, right? Don't think I'm coming to sell you career body to you. If you don't have time to do it, give your stuff to another person. Outsource it so you can focus on more important things and so that you can get the best value and as you put your best foot forward. So thank you very much.